Leo, imagine you're standing in the middle of the Sahara Desert. The sun is burning your skin. You have no money, you have no map, and the only thing you have left is a dream about a treasure you've never seen. Would you keep walking, or would you turn back?
Honestly, I'd probably look for the nearest camel with GPS and a mini fridge. Maya, that sounds terrifying. Why would anyone stay in a desert for a dream?
Because of a word that changes everything. A word that suggests you life isn't a series of accidents, but a masterpiece already written by a higher hand. Today, we are stripping Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. We're moving beyond the simple story of a shepherd boy and digging into the language of the universe.
I've heard about this book. People say it changed their lives. They say it's the manual for manifesting. But as an English learner, I just want to know, how do I talk about my dreams without sounding like a Hallmark card?
That is exactly what we're doing today. We're going to learn the vocabulary of omens, the grammar of destiny, and the secret phrase that every seeker needs to know, Maktub. Welcome to the Masterclass.
Okay, let's start with the hero, Santiago. He's a shepherd, right? He's got a stable job, he's got sheep, he's traveling. Why does he leave?
He leaves because of a recurring dream. He dreams of a treasure at the Egyptian pyramids. Now, Leo, look at the vocabulary here. Santiago has what we call a calling. In English, a calling isn't just a phone call. It's a deep internal urge to follow a specific path.
So it's more than a hobby, it's like a mission.
Exactly. But here's the problem. Most people have a calling, but they are paralyzed by inertia. That's a great word for your listeners. Inertia is the tendency to do nothing, to stay exactly where you are because it's safe. Santiago's father wanted him to be a priest. The village wanted him to be a shepherd, but Santiago chose to be an adventurer.
I like that. But he doesn't just walk to Egypt. He meets a king, right? Melchizedek?
Yes, the King of Salem. And this is where the book introduces the core concept, the personal legend. In English learning terms, we often talk about goals or objectives, but a personal legend is different. It is your reason for being.
How do I use that in a sentence? If I'm in a job interview and I say, my personal legend is to be a senior manager, do I sound crazy?
Maybe a little too poetic for a corporate office. In a professional setting, you would say, my ultimate career vision or my long-term aspirations. But in your heart and in this podcast, we call it the personal legend. The king tells Santiago to realize one's destiny is a person's only real obligation.
Obligation? That's a heavy word. It means you must do it, like paying taxes.
Precisely. Coelho is saying that ignoring your dream isn't just sad, it's a failure of your duty to the universe.
So Santiago sells his sheep, goes to Africa, and immediately gets robbed. Everything goes wrong. If the universe wants him to succeed, why does he get robbed in the first 5 minutes?
This is the most important lesson for anyone learning a new language or starting a new business. It's called the beginner's luck, followed by the test of persistence.
Ah, the honeymoon phase is over.
Exactly. When you start learning English, you learn hello and how are you, and you feel great. Then you try to watch a movie without subtitles and you realize you understand nothing. That is the robbery. The universe is testing your resolve.
Resolve, like a New Year's resolution.
Similar, resolve is your firm determination. To pass the test, Santiago has to learn to read omens. In the book, omens are the language of the world.
Give me an example of an omen in real life. If I see a black cat, is that an omen?
In the book, it's more about synchronicity. Have you ever thought about a friend you haven't spoken to in years, and then they text you 5 minutes later? That's a sign. In English, we call these coincidences, but Coelho argues they are actually directions.
So if I'm struggling with a difficult grammar point, and suddenly I hear that exact grammar used in a song on the radio, that's an omen?
Yes, it's the universe saying, pay attention, you are on the right path. We use the phrase, the signs are all there. When you're making a big life decision, you should look for the signs.
Okay, so Santiago is broke. He starts working for a crystal merchant. This guy is interesting because he has a dream. He wants to go to Mecca, but he never goes. Why?
This is a psychological trap called the fear of fulfillment. The merchant is afraid that if he actually goes to Mecca, he will have nothing left to live for. He prefers the dream of Mecca to the reality of it.
That is so relatable. Some people study English for years, but they're afraid to actually go to London or New York because they're afraid the reality won't be as good as the dream.
Or they're afraid they will fail once they get there. The merchant represents stagnation. He is the opposite of Santiago. Santiago uses his time at the crystal shop to innovate. He cleans the glasses, he builds a display case, he suggests selling tea in the crystal.
He's an entrepreneur.
Exactly. He uses intuition. That's our next big vocabulary word. Intuition is that gut feeling. It's knowing something without having the proof yet. Santiago's intuition tells him to keep moving, even when the shop is doing well. He doesn't want just money, he wants the treasure.
Now we get to the word you mentioned at the start, Maktub. It sounds so final, like, don't bother trying, it's already decided. Is that what it means?
Not exactly. In the book, Maktub is a source of comfort, not a source of laziness. It means that if you are truly following your personal legend, the path has already been prepared for you.
So it's like, trust the process.
Perfectly put, Leo. Trust the process is the modern English version of Maktub. It means that the setbacks, the robberies, the delays in the desert, the sandstorms are part of the script. They aren't mistakes, they are chapters.
I love that. When I make a mistake in English, I usually feel like I've failed the script, but Maktub says the mistake was supposed to happen to teach me something.
Precisely. It shifts your mindset from victim to student. You aren't a victim of the universe, you are a student of it.
So Santiago finally meets the alchemist. I thought an alchemist was someone who turns lead into gold. Is this a chemistry lesson?
It's a metaphor. Alchemy is the process of turning something base or common into something precious.
Like turning a shy student into a confident speaker.
Exactly. We call this a transformation. The alchemist tells Santiago that he must listen to his heart, because the heart is where the soul of the world lives.
Okay, Maya, let's get practical. How do I listen to my heart when I'm trying to learn 50 new phrasal verbs? My heart just wants to sleep.
Listening to your heart means identifying your passion. Why are you learning English? If it's just for a test, your heart will be silent. But if it's to connect with people, to travel, to share your story, that is your gold.
So the lead is the boring grammar and the gold is the connection.
Yes, and to get to the gold, you have to go through the alchemical process, which involves high heat and pressure. In life, that pressure is challenge. The alchemist says, the darkest hour is just before the dawn.
Spoiler alert for the ending. Santiago gets to the pyramids, digs, and finds nothing.
He finds a thief who laughs at him. The thief says, I had a dream about a treasure under a tree in Spain, but I wasn't stupid enough to go looking for it.
Wait, that's the tree where Santiago started. The treasure was in his own backyard the whole time?
Yes, but here's the masterclass takeaway. Santiago had to travel thousands of miles to become the kind of man who could find the treasure. If he had dug under the tree on day one, he wouldn't have known how to read the signs. He wouldn't have known how to speak the language of the world. He wouldn't have known the alchemist.
So the journey was the real treasure.
The journey provided the wisdom, the treasure provided the reward. You need both.
Wow, I feel like I just walked across the desert myself.
That's the power of a great story. So, for our listeners, are you ignoring your calling? Are you stuck in inertia? Remember, Maktub. It is written, but you are the one who has to turn the page.
Beautiful. Tell us your personal legend in the comments. We want to know what gold you're chasing.
See you in the next chapter.